What happens when one of Hollywood's most loved legends steps onto a talk show stage and things go completely off the rails? The Graham Norton Show has given audiences countless unforgettable moments, but no one could have predicted what would happen when Julie Andrews appeared that night. Before we jump into the chaos that unfolded live on air, make sure you hit that subscribe button and tell us in the comments what you think really happened behind the scenes. Now let's dive into one of the most unexpected and tense television moments of the year. The studio lights were as bright as ever, the audience full of excitement. Graham Norton, as usual, was in his element. Charming, funny, and completely at ease. When he announced his next guest, the crowd erupted in cheers. Julie Andrews, the legendary actress who gave life to Mary Poppins and Maria von Trapp, walked onto the stage with her familiar grace and poise. She sat down on the red sofa, adjusting her dress as Graham leaned forward, a mischievous twinkle in his eye. The conversation began lightheartedly. Graham asked about her latest projects, her experiences in Hollywood, and they laughed together about her long-celebrated career. Julie was elegant and warm, sharing small stories that made everyone smile. But then the tone began to shift. Graham brought up what seemed to be a harmless question: how she felt about all the modern remakes and reboots of classic films. Julie's expression changed ever so slightly. There was a flicker in her eyes, a sign of something deeper. She said calmly, "Well, Graham, I think some stories are best left as they are. Not everything needs to be redone for a new generation. Some things are already perfect." Her tone was gentle but firm, and there was a subtle edge that hinted at more beneath the surface. Graham, sensing an opportunity for an interesting discussion, leaned in and asked, "But surely you must feel proud knowing your work inspires new versions and adaptations. Isn't that the greatest compliment?" Julie tilted her head slightly and replied, "There's a difference between inspiration and imitation. Between honoring something and repackaging it because you've run out of new ideas. My whole career has been about bringing honesty and heart to my roles. Sometimes I think that's missing in today's industry." The audience grew quieter. This wasn't the playful back and forth they were expecting. Graham, always professional, tried to move the conversation smoothly. "That's quite a strong statement, Julie," he said with a polite smile. "Are you saying that today's filmmakers lack authenticity?" Julie leaned back slightly and crossed her legs. "I'm saying that when we made films, we knew our work would outlive us. We understood the weight of creating something real and lasting. These days, it feels like everything is about trends and quick fame. Where's the art in that?" Graham raised his eyebrows, his smile still fixed but more tense now. "You could say that connecting with audiences today takes different skills," he replied. "Isn't it unfair to claim modern creators don't understand artistry?" Julie sat forward, her voice firmer. "Unfair? I've watched this industry change for 60 years, Graham. Not all change is progress. When young actors can't shoot a scene without checking their phones, when singers depend entirely on technology to sound decent, that's not progress. That's decline." The silence in the room was heavy. Graham didn't back down. "That sounds a bit harsh," he said. "Surely you agree that the industry is now more inclusive and diverse, and that's a good thing, isn't it?" Julie gave a short, sharp laugh. "Inclusive," she repeated. "I worked with directors who had real vision and actors who came from theater, who trained for years. Now people become famous for short online videos and somehow end up in major films. That's not inclusion, that's lowering the bar." Graham's tone cooled slightly. "Many people would disagree. They'd say that giving opportunities to people from all walks of life makes the industry richer." Julie waved her hand. "When I started, you earned your place. You studied, you practiced. You worked hard. You didn't become a star because of a viral post. The problem with your generation, Graham, and forgive me for being blunt, is that you've mistaken accessibility for talent. Just because anyone can post something online doesn't mean everyone should be making movies." The audience shifted in their seats. Graham sat a bit straighter. "My generation," he said. "Julie, I've interviewed countless talented people from different backgrounds. Are you really saying that the only path to success is yours?" Julie's voice was steady. "I'm saying that standards matter. Excellence matters. If you make everything easy and available to everyone, you end up with mediocrity. And if that makes me old-fashioned, then I'll wear it proudly. Graham leaned forward again, his tone sharper. Integrity is an interesting word, Julie. Do you think people who disagree with you lack integrity? Julie met his gaze calmly. I think too many people are swayed by what's popular. The industry today cares more about trends than truth. And yes, that includes shows like this, which chase viral moments instead of meaningful conversations. The crowd gasped. Graham's smile disappeared. His fingers gripped the chair's armrest. That's quite an accusation, he said. You do realize you're here to promote your own work on this very show? Julie's tone didn't waver. I'm here because my publicist thought it would be good exposure. But let's be honest, Graham. You invite guests, ask them slightly provocative questions, hope they say something you can clip for social media, and move on. It's not real discussion. It's fast entertainment for people who don't want to think too long. The audience was frozen. Graham's face reddened. If you feel that way, he said, why even come on? Julie smoothed her dress again. Because I wanted to see if I was right, she said. And I must say, you're proving my point. The moment someone says something genuine, you get defensive instead of engaging. Graham shook his head, visibly irritated. What you're saying, Julie, he said, is that an entire generation of artists aren't good enough for you. Don't you see how arrogant that sounds? Julie's expression didn't change. It's not arrogance, she replied. It's observation. I've seen awards given to performances that wouldn't pass an audition years ago. I've seen scripts approved only because they belong to a franchise. The business has changed, and not for the better. Graham stood up, breaking his usual composure. Maybe the business changed because audiences changed, he said. Maybe people want different stories now. Maybe they're tired of being told what greatness is by those who refuse to evolve. Julie looked up at him, her tone cold. Standing up doesn't make you right, Graham. The truth is uncomfortable, but someone has to speak it. The industry is overflowing with content but starving for quality. Graham brushed his hand through his hair. You mean the content people love and connect with, he said. The stories that make them feel something. Just because it's not your style doesn't mean it's worthless. Julie rose to her feet. I never said it was worthless. I said it was mediocre. There's a difference. People eat fast food every day, Graham. That doesn't make it healthy. Popularity doesn't equal greatness. The other guests sat silently, eyes wide. A young actor promoting his new series shifted nervously. Graham turned to him and said, Maybe we should hear from someone representing the new generation. What do you think? The actor hesitated. I respect Dame Julie so much, he began, but I think there's room for different kinds of storytelling. Things have changed, and that's okay. Julie's look could have cut glass. Changed? She repeated. You became famous playing a superhero surrounded by special effects. Tell me, what part of that required your specific skill? Couldn't anyone have done it with enough CGI? The actor's face paled. That's unfair, he said. Those roles take training and emotional work. Julie's laugh was dry. Training? Your stunt doubles did most of the work. Emotional range? The character had 3 moods the whole movie. I'm not insulting you, dear. I'm pointing out the truth. Graham stepped in quickly. That's enough, Julie, he said, voice raised. You can't come here and insult my guests. This isn't about being honest anymore. It's cruel. Julie's control slipped for the first time. Cruel? She said, her voice rising. You want cruel? Cruel is watching an art form I devoted my life to become a factory for forgettable nonsense. Seeing talent replaced by marketing. That's cruel. Graham was visibly shaking now. You're completely out of line, he said. You've shown nothing but contempt for others. What gives you the right? Julie's eyes burned. 6 decades of excellence give me that right, she said. Performances that still matter 50 years later give me that right. The ability to actually sing without a machine fixing my voice gives me that right. I earned everything. The crowd was in shock. Graham pointed to the wings. I think it's time for you to leave. This interview is over. Julie stood tall. Of course it is, she said. The moment someone speaks truth, you end it. That's what your show is. All surface, no depth. Graham's voice dropped. I'm asking you to leave. Julie picked up her purse. Gladly, she said. In 20 years, no one will remember half the people who've sat in these chairs. They'll remember me, because real talent lasts. She